Hello traders, this is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks. This is Saturday. I'm doing the video on Saturday for the weekend charts to ponder. It is Saturday, January 22nd, 2057. January 22nd, 2022. 2022. Okay, wow. Last week was pretty crazy. Sellers definitely had their way with the bulls and just about did what they wanted to do. I've got 16 charts that I want to explore here. Plus, we're going to do a little. We're going to talk about a couple of the indices before we get into that. So bear with me. Grab something to drink. Take a minute here and pause the recording real quick and go get some chips or something to nibble on. And like I said, get that cold drink or that hot drink and we'll try to do this. I'll try to get it done in about 30 minutes, but it might be kind of hard. We'll see. We'll see. Alrighty, let's get going here. Again, this is Saturday, January 22nd, 2057. Let's take a look and at a few charts here and see what we can come up with. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to remind everybody watching this video that timing is very, very important to swing traders, and it's very important to only trade when the time is right. Okay, and we're going to explore that a little bit on a few charts and the market. Maybe we're going to explore that. So hang with me here. And we'll definitely take a look at that. One of the first things I want to look at is the VIX, VIX dash here. Here we go, the VIX, and man, we're getting kind of up there. You can see that. I'm going to look at that weekly real quick. Yeah, we're getting right up there. I think let's just put a line up here. I think the weekly may be a better story. Just because the daily might be too choppy. So I'm actually going to do something like that. Around that 33.30, I'm looking at these candles right here. So if I go back to the daily, and the daily chart is where I place all my trades off the daily chart. Daily chart is what I look at most of the time, for sure. There's still some room to move up. So I want to be a little careful with that, but I also have to recognize as a trader, man, look how many days this thing has been up. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white candles. In my case, I use white candles. Some of you may use green. 5 out of 6 we've been up here. Look at the T-line, how the T-line is just ripping here. The T-line, by the way, is the black line for those that don't know. You can see that it is just parabolic here. Price is parabolic. So that makes me kind of nervous, okay? We've gone a little too high, a little too far. Now let's go look at the SPY, okay? The SPY's been down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And I'm going to count that day because that is a lower low to the previous day. And this is also a lower high to the previous day. So we've just come all the way down here. And that, bang, man, that's hard. This red line here is a 200 period moving average. This purple box here represents what very much could be a bounce area. So I'm just going to do this like that. Right in here, we could see a little bit of an oversold bounce. Now, that does not mean that the market's going to turn bullish. Doesn't mean that we're getting any kind of great big reversal or anything. Remember, timing is a big deal to swing traders, and trading at the right time is very important. So I have to look at this and I have to say, man, I don't know if I want to chase shorts at this point, and I sure as heck don't want to buy any longs at this point. So what I'm doing right now is building a watch list, adding to the watch list, taking things off that have just totally fallen apart and not worthy of a watch list, both long and short. So that's what we're going to explore today, is a few of those charts. Here's a list of them right here if you want to jot them down. So I'm just not sure. I wouldn't want to chase anything. Let's take a look at T2122. T2122 is an indicator, if you will, on TC2000, and it's the 4-week new high, new low ratio. And we are seriously in the oversold area. While the oversold area, a lot of traders look at this as maybe a buy area. May look at it as, be careful with trading shorts. Now, it can stay down there. There's nothing that says that this has to bounce and start moving up. Nothing at all. For me, it does suggest to back that gas pedal off a little bit if you're trading short, because we are at a place where the bulls do start sniffing around this area. So this is that timing thing. Again, a timing is huge to a swing trader. So the timing might not be right for a long trade. I'm sorry, a short trade. Timing might not be right for a short trade, and I don't think timing is right for a great big long trade either. So let's take a look at FNGU. This is a chart that I follow an awful lot. It's the FANG index. I follow it a lot. I've never ever traded it. I just simply follow it because it has the big swingers in there, and the market can be pulled around by a handful of stocks, and the handful of stocks are right in here. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, all right, we've been down an awful lot. So I kind of think that we might be looking for some sort of a bounce. Again, a bounce does not mean some sort of a great big rally at all. A bounce could be just a little bounce up. And it doesn't mean that that's tradable. In fact, I'm not overly excited to trade that right now. I would rather wait for a chart pattern. We'll talk about that in just a moment. So I'm certainly not going to chase any candle gets thrown to us just because it's a candle in there. The Qs, which kind of follow that FNGU, or FNGU follows the Qs, whichever. We're right down here in that bounce area with the Qs as well. So again, be a little bit careful with those long or shorts right now. I apologize. This actually took a little bit longer than I thought it would. I'll get right on these stocks here. One thing I want to mention to you, though, is I want to reach out and just say thank you for watching the videos. I do appreciate it. So, I mean, if you get a chance, if you like the videos, just reach over, boom, give us a thumbs up if you like that. If you have questions, if you would like a question answered on a chart, I will, I read the questions every night, the comments, and I'll put it on the following day's video for you if you'd like. So please feel free to leave any comments. Thank you so much again for watching the videos. All right, I want to go back to the SPY here because let's talk about when the time is right. Now, when I say the time is right, George, Jeff, John, Nancy, Sally, Dorothy, I can't tell you when the time is right for you. I can't do that. However, I can tell you when the time is right for me. And one thing that I have found, especially after going back and doing a little research on some of my last year's trades and winners and losers, and just doing some research and finding out how I can improve, I discovered that taking long trades when these green dots show up in the SPY. Now, the SPY is the indice that I tend to follow the most. There's nothing wrong with following the diamonds, nothing at all with following IWM. I just tend to follow the SPY the most. So that's what Just do. And I have just found that when these green dots are green, this is where I make the best money and the easiest money on swing trades right here. Okay? So when that happens, that's where I want to trade. But there's a problem with that. And the problem is I will give up. Let's see here. Let's make this red. I will give up trading down here. I won't get any trades if I wait for that right there. Because what I'm going to do now, you see these red dots? They're just the opposite of the green dots. So what I need to do is see that the market is green. So price above these red dots will turn them green. So I need to see that happen before I feel good about taking long charts. Again, that means that you have to give up some charts. Now please don't take this to the bank. Might I trade something that hasn't, proven to turn green yet? So here's the red dots, maybe to the downside, and then price runs up and then turns those red dots green right here. Sure, I might. I have a scan, not just for the daily, but I have one set up for the hourly chart on the SPY flipping to the green dots. I have one set up for the 15-minute chart on the SPY flipping green. So I can use those as early trades maybe, but if they turn negative, turn back to the red side, then I need to just forget that whole idea of long trading. So like I said, I'm gonna miss some of that bottom picking there. That's another thing that I found that when I went back through last year's records and looking at some of the trades, when I played around with the bottom, that's where I lost most of my money. Right? That was just a big ouch. Charts that didn't work out, trades that didn't work out. The bottom picking thing just doesn't work for me anyway. So here's I just want to show you this right here. This is one of the tools I use to trade. And see that zero right there? Now this is it's just number one because I built it first. That's all. Not that it's my number one scan. But number one, 2022 bullish conditions. I have about 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 conditions in there that I require. And there are charts in the bucket here. They are in the bucket. In fact, I can show you that. There's 23 in the bucket that meet conditions from group 1, group 2, and group 3. 23 in the bucket, but see that there's 0 here. That's because one major condition hasn't been met, and that is price over the Trendicator and Trendicator green. So when that happens, the bucket will open up and give me some trade. So this is a great way to keep you from trading. It works too. It drives you crazy. It truly does drive you crazy, but it does keep you out of hot water. So remember, if I need that to turn green, then it's not going to happen right here. Let's say that we get bullish right in here. Okay? Fine. I'm not going to wait till it gets up here because what's going to happen is these red dots are still coming down, even as the bulls may be coming in here. So let's put another one up here like this, all right? And then those red dots are still coming down because price is not above it. Well, at some point, what I think is a beautiful thing will happen, and that is price will go from a low to a high, and it will pull back and retest somewhere in here. Doesn't have to go all the way down there, just retest. Well, in the meantime, these red dots will keep coming down like this. Just keep moving down. And then if the buyers are truly going to be here, if this market is really going to move up and do something, then what will happen is those buyers here will come back in. And when they do, I'm just going to put one up like that. And let's move this down like this. And then we're going to turn the green dot, those red dots green, just like that. Now, that would meet one of the major conditions that I have for this, that alert that I showed you that had the 0 on it, because this is a major condition. So it is very important for swing traders to pay attention to timing, also to only trade when it's the right time to trade. So you've got to ask yourself as a trader, is this where you're going to trade? And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't fit my game, I guess. Is this the right place? Not necessarily, no. Here, no. Like I said, that beautiful thing happens in here. We get a pullback, low, high, higher low. We start moving up. We move over the Trendicator. All of a sudden, that turns green. And this right here, that bucket will open up with trades that meet all my conditions, like maybe a bullish candle, like a trend, like a 3/8 trap or breakout of a 3/8 trap, or a moving average bounce. I love doing those, that type of a moving average bounce. So it's going to be it's going to be a tough couple of days not trading in here. It sure is. Now, for the short side, what could absolutely happen here is we have a relief rally. And then what we're going to watch for is if it does start to fail too harsh and start moving down, anything below, and I'm just, on this video, on this Saturday, January 22nd, I'm just assuming that that's where it's going to bounce. I don't know if it is. I'm just saying if that is where it is. You know, it could bounce, let's see, K. It could come down more and then start bouncing. And heck, it doesn't even have to bounce. We can go down another, 300 points. That's why we're just going to follow the price. And we're going to let the charts tell us what to do here. So, okay, let's take a look at these. I've got some long trades over here, and I've got some short trades over here. Some of these I've already pulled off the watch list that you have seen every day this past week and even last week if you take a look at our videos. A couple of them are new that I'm adding to the watch list. And again, we're going to wait for the right time, okay? So we'll start with a long trade. It happens to be UVXY, and I think that's a pretty nice looking trade. Now, if the market starts moving down more, then UVXY is going to be bullish. If the market starts rallying, this is going to pull back. So we want to make sure that we pay attention to timing. Very important for a swing trader. And it's important for a swing trader because a swing trade is typically overnight. Anything, bought and sold in one day, that's a day trade. You hold it overnight, that tees up the swing trade. And the swing trade can last, it could last that day if you want to close it out. It could last 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days. You start getting 15 days, 20 days maybe. You go talk to any swing trader you want. That really starts to stretch that swing trade out. So it is important if you're thinking, we'll say 10 to 20 days or 5 to 20 days maybe. I hope you can see how that timing would be important. If you're buying something like this long term, you can afford to let it pull back maybe. But as a swing trader, you can't do that because you only have so many days you're working with. So watch that timing. So anyway, here's UVXY. It's up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So I don't think it's the best time to buy it. I think it's a little bit overbought. I would love to see a little bit of a pullback, and that would work out really nice in there. And then see the market start following through to the downside, and this might make a nice trade. 73% up to the 200 period moving average. Wow. I'm sure we can find some trades in between here and here. I'm sure we can find profits, but in this box as well. See, there we go. So if it's bought, we may come up here and take profits, let it rest, maybe buy it again. Just keep doing that on the way up. Other traders, again, your swing trade might be 20 days. So for 20 days, maybe you hold it. You hold it until the sellers come in and knock you out. I want to make it clear too. There's nothing magic about 20 days. I just picked a number out of the sky. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at a short now. How about Costco? See how Costco is trending to the downside right here? See those red dots? This would have been a terrific time to short Costco through here. If you're more about a blue ice failure, that sort of a trade, then right in here would have been a good place to short it. And it still may be a good place to short, but I don't want to chase it. Remember, the market, we might just might be setting up for a little bit of a bounce. So I don't want to just jump on this early Monday to have the market pull up. And if the market pulls up, stocks like Costco will probably pull up with it. And then you're sitting there wondering what in the heck happened here? Timing is important. Timing. So while I do want this on my watch list, I think what I would like to see, and I would like to see a little bounce in the market. That I would. Let's make this green. There we go. I would like to see this come up. And then I would like to see fail up into here. And then we can look for that short, and then maybe we can get 13% or so out of that short. Let's go look at them long. CE is a long we've had on the watch list a couple days here. And Friday, this is Friday's candle. Man, that thing held up very, very, very well. So we have a little bottom here. We rallied up. We came back. Kind of a morning star, bullish engulf kind of a candle here. These three candles, this is a Fig Newton chart pattern, and that's a bullish candle pattern. And you can see we rallied up and pulled back, and the bulls held us up here. The sellers couldn't knock us down. This is a rounded bottom breakout. I'm looking at 760 as a possible target. That's 19%. Remember, in this area, what I'll be looking for are swing trade. I'll be looking for swing trades. So maybe something like this right here. Let me go grab this. That blue. There we go. So maybe an entry, and then if everything goes great, then we'll look up here. We'll wait for price action, or maybe some rules, something that says, hey, it's time to take some profits, and then manage the trade from there. So it doesn't mean that we're going to buy it and then hold it up to 760. This is the playground that I see that we might be able to play in, and we'll trade price as it moves up or moves down. Let's take a look at another short. DLR here. Oh, one big thing I forgot to mention, huge thing I forgot to mention here, is let's always pay attention to earnings, okay? Always pay attention to earnings. Now, we don't have earnings here till the February 17th, so there's definitely some time. Now, some traders, you could care less whether you hold over earnings or not. It doesn't matter. Some traders, it matters a lot. So always check earnings right in here. I get asked many times, what's the soonest, or how many days do I need before earnings? I'm good with a week before earnings, but 9 out of 10 times I won't hold a chart over earnings. Every now and then there is one I will, but typically I never hold over earnings. It's just not worth it. And I think in the long run, the losers get you more than the winners do. So, especially now, especially now, right now, this year, the way things are going. So, always watch earnings. So here we have a We've talked about blue ice failures many times in the past, and this is what I would consider a red ice failure. The red right here, that's the 200 period moving average. Blue ice, of course, is the 50 period moving average. You can see the Trendicator is suggesting that the sellers have control. So what we want to do is watch for those price patterns that gives us a clue to be short. Well, this is one of those price patterns right here. That's one of those price patterns right there. So what I would look to do on this, maybe if the market continues to show weakness next week, this might be a nice short through here, and then possibly it gets down to 143.60. I mean, and it could even get lower here. It could certainly do that right through there. So about a 9, maybe even a 12% possible trade on this. Okay, let's take a look at a long. One of the areas that sometimes goes up but not guaranteed is the defensive sector when the market is unhappy and moving down. Now, take this with a little grain of salt here. Just because the market is moving down and it's a defensive sector does not guarantee it's going to go up and make money. Sometimes the market is so scared to death of itself, it's moving down, money just starts running out of the market. It just starts just leaking out everywhere, and investors don't want to buy anything, even those defensive stocks. So just because it's considered a defensive stock and just because the market's going down does not mean just to be crazy long on a bunch of defensive stocks. I have found that timing, watch the chart pattern, keep an eye on price action here. So here's PM, Philip Morris. This is one of those defensive charts, and it is setting up. It looks pretty good here. I like it up to 106.30, and then if everything goes right, maybe up here to 112.30 up here. We've got a J hook setting up, a buy area on this, something like this maybe, right through there. So I've got that on the watch list. I'll be looking at that, providing the price action and the chart pattern stays intact. Another short, DLTR. Now this is one that I am currently short in. I held this over this weekend. And again, you can see where that Trendicator started giving us a little bit of a little clue here on that candle right there. And here we are down. Now I'm going to draw this all the way over here. It doesn't mean that, we're just going to continue down. I'm not doing that. I'm just extending that line because just like a bullish chart, goes up, back, up, back, up, back. Bearish charts go from the top down, up, down, up, down, right? Now, the down can extend to lower for sure, but we could easily pop back up here this week, especially if we get a bounce in the market. We could pop back up, and then that might give us another shorting opportunity up into this area right here. So timing, very important. Watch price action, check the timing, and only trade when the time is right. And thanks for listening to me. I'm talking to myself here right now, so it's wonderful education for myself just to keep repeating this to myself. Only trade when the time is right. All right. Okay, let's look at another long. How about some Coke? This is one I'm also currently long in, and I did hold it on Friday here. I've got a trend line drawn from this high, grabbing this low and close to that low, moving up here. In fact, I could probably trim that up just a little bit more. There we go. So this chart here, let's do this. We'll just do it this way. You can see how we've been consolidating right through there, just like that. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. If it starts to break down, break the trend line, then, I mean, I'll have to end up closing it. However, if the bulls start to come in the market a little bit and Coke here can stay bullish, what I would like to see, of course, is a bullish candle. And I may add to this position, lower my cost because we're still in a trend. And then maybe it gets a little snap to the upside. Great for the profit. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Only if it does the right stuff and only if the market does the right stuff. Let's take a look at Apple short. Now, we talked about Apple on a video. I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday last week, and you can see we've got some pretty nice follow through here. You can see how the Trendicator is red. We did get one green day out of it. So here's that high. There's that low. There's that failed high. So we did get a green day right there, and then we started back down to the downside right in here. So this right here would have been a good day to short that if you're using something like the Trendicator. And as far as a stop goes, well, if it starts to turn green, then that would be a pretty good stop on that. So right now I see Apple with a possible 147.30 target, really down here to the 200 period moving average. That doesn't mean it has to get there. Price maybe something like this, so we're going to get bullish somewhere along the way. I just don't think Apple is just going to take a nosedive to the downside. I suspect there's going to be a little bit of buying in it. But if the market can't pick itself up, then Apple is likely to continue down. Or maybe if Apple continues down, maybe the market continues down. Apple's one of those big boys there that can swing the market. So we want to pay attention to what Apple is doing. Okay, let's take a look at VZ. So I don't think VZ is a buy here. I don't particularly think it's a short here, really. It's just a chart that I want on the watch list, and I just want to talk about it here a little bit for the weekend charts to ponder, because timing is everything. Which means if you can certainly be 1,000% bearish. You can certainly think the world's coming to an end. You're out there buying water, booze and bullets and plywood, whatever you want to, I mean, if you think the world's coming to an end, okay. But you know what? The world's not going to come to an end, and this market is going to eventually start moving up. This is a perfect time to start building that watch list for good charts and then be patient for those buy signals. This is the best time there is for this sort of thing. And Verizon, is one of these charts. So I've drawn this trend line here, and what I would like to see is Verizon really just to come back into here a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that it has to go all the way back to this trend line. I'm not saying that at all. Looks like we have a little bit of support right here. Maybe that holds, maybe it doesn't. If the market continues down, the likelihood Verizon is going to trickle down as well. Because when the market is down, most boats are tilted on their side. It's just the way it is. When the market starts moving up, 85% of the stocks are going to start tilting to the upside. So I'm going to wait, be patient. Timing is everything. So let's be patient and wait for the buy signal to start coming in here. Right now, I think I would have to look at over 53.80. Now, if we move down a little lower and set up a chart pattern, that price could be lower. But right now, about above 53.80 could get me into this. Note the earnings are just next week. So make sure you pay attention to earnings. Now, so this is on our watch list. So earnings are next week. The likelihood of me trading this before earnings is slim to none. So it doesn't mean I'm going to take it off the watch list. It just means that I'm gonna watch it and wait. Let the earnings come out, and the trade is not necessarily from here to here. That boom, that's not necessarily the trade. So if I take a look at this, just take a look at Verizon, look at the upside. Well, let's just go right here. There's the upside potential to it. So if price, if it had good earnings and it popped up and price was here, we can build a trade from there. So the watch list is about having charts at your fingertips that you like, that you can make sense of, but they have to meet your conditions, and you have to wait for that right time. Once again, I love saying this because it just imprints it on my brain. So thank you very much for letting me do this. How about COBE for a short? You've got a blue ice failure here, Trendicator to the downside. We're wobbling around here under that 200 period moving average. It was brought to my attention there's some bullish candles here, so this might not be a short. Might not be. Might not be. We're going to wait and see what price. We're not in it now. Anything above 121.15 there might make me not want to be short, at least not right through here anyway. So let's see what price does. Anything below Friday's candle, I don't have a problem shorting that. I'm not worried about these lows. That's why we put stops in. So follow the market. What is the market doing? Follow the chart. What is the chart doing? Remember, never chase, never get caught up in we call it FOMO, fear of missing out. Never get caught up in that. Always wait for a chart to come to you, to your trade plan. Always wait for that. All right, let's take a look at AU. I don't know if anyone has been following some of the gold, some of the silver stocks, but they're starting to shape up pretty nice. So I definitely want some of those on my watch list, and one of them is this AU. AU bounced off of, this is our what we call our dotted deuce right here. We bounced up, a beautiful candle, and then it's pulled back. I'm not long this. I'm not necessarily gung-ho to be long Monday. However, I'm going to follow price, and I'm going to do what price tells me to do. So just taking a look at this chart, I would be willing to buy it in this area right there. There's about a 30% move, almost 30% from this, bottom area. So if I was to even buy it, say up here, let's do this again. There we go. If I was to be a buyer on the breakout without, crunching numbers real tight here, what is that? A good 20% maybe? 20% move, something like that. I could be happy with that. So we're going to wait for the right time, and we're gonna watch those swings because it's a big deal. Timing and the swings, or timing for the swings, and then trade when the time is right. You put that together, and you're really adding conditions, positive conditions to your trade. Doesn't matter whether you're long or short. This applies to both of those. Pen is one that's been on our watch list, and it's been definitely doing the whole short side here. We're moving down. Trendicator is down. If we get a little bounce, that might offer an entry. Again, we're going to watch price. We're going to watch the market. We're going to tailor this trade to exactly what we want it to be, and then that's where we'll put that entry in there. We definitely don't want to chase anything. We're swing traders, so remember the whole timing thing. We don't want to do this. So say Monday this starts happening. Well, I don't want to buy it here. That's too far down. That's way too far down there. So I don't want to chase. If I missed it, I missed it. Get better on the entries. That's what I tell myself. And have the right tools to find that stuff. That's important too. Here's another gold stock, Newmont, NEM here. Nice trend working. Look at that Trendicator is nice and green right here. Look how we broke out. Boom. And now we've pulled back. That's looking pretty good to me. I'm liking 74.50 up here. So if there was a trade, somewhere in this area, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to wait for the buyers. I'm not going to just assume that that's the place to buy it. I want to see buyers step in. Even, here, even if I don't get it until it breaks out, I'm okay with that. Because I still have, I don't know, what would that be? Maybe 15%, 14%. If I bought it up here, and then I'll set my stop based on the chart pattern, price action, and how much I want to risk once the entry is up here. Just because the entry's here, I'm not going to use this as a stop. This is just what I see right now in the market, in the chart. Here's PFE. Hey, I want to reach out and just say thanks for everybody. This is turning out to be a longer video than I thought. I'm at 42 minutes right now. Thank you very much if you've watched it. Do me a favor. If you are at this point in the video, would you please just leave a comment and just let me know you made it to the end or to the 42-minute point. I would appreciate that. Just let me know that somebody's watching the video. Okay, thanks. So here we are. PFE is looking like a short, maybe down to the 45 area, approximately 18.5% or so. What we're going to do is watch for weakness. That might be an entry right in there. And also, if it does give us an inside day or pop up a little bit, but then start to fail the Trendicator, just like it's done in the past, then that's what we'll be looking for an entry. And if we use that indicator as a guideline, the Trendicator as a guideline, the red dots, then we would pretty much use the same thing as a stop area. So if it did rally up and we were able to get it right up in here, then if it was to turn green, we don't really want to be in that. Here we have our last long, and that's going to be AT&T. Again, earnings, keep an eye on that. Now, I look at AT&T, and I don't have to buy AT&T today. I think AT&T is one of those top-notch companies. I think it goes higher, and I think going down the road, it's going to make some all-time new highs. So what I'm going to do is patiently wait for the timing. I want the market right. I want the setup right. I don't have to be in a hurry for this. So I'm going to simply wait. Now, what I would like to see is something in this area. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get it. I like a lot of things, but don't necessarily get them. So I would like to see come down here, set up. Let me see the bulls come in there, and then I'll come in there with the bulls for a swing trade up, take profits, let it pull back, swing trade again. That would be my plan with this. But I'm going to wait for that right time. To help with that, this is why I put these stocks on the watch list so I can keep a closer eye on them. I'm not looking at 5,000 stocks. I think I only have, on the long side, I think I only have maybe 40 possibilities that even come close to the conditions, and I'll only look for a trade when they meet enough conditions to give me the reason to get in. Here's the last short that I have, and that's Fastly, FSLY here. Looking to me like we're going to come down to $20. Man, that's a 50% move from the green top of the green box to the bottom of the green box. You can see the Trendicator is doing a good job of telling us what to do. I mean, just take a look at that. Here we pop up, right? No reason to get long this, because what are the long rules? We need to see a low, a high, rest, test, call it whatever you want, and then we need to see a move above that high, right? Well, look what happened. And the Trendicator nailed it right there. So, if this is not the right place, and I don't want to chase this. This is not particularly the right place for me. But what I'm wanting is a rally up, just like this right here. Give us a little rally up. and then that might be a nice opportunity for a short, and then maybe we get that full, what is that, 50% move in there. All right, everybody, thank you again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for putting up with me. If you found it helpful, please give me the thumbs up so I know it's worthwhile. If you have any comments, leave them below. And remember, if you watch the whole now 46 minutes of this video, please let me know in the comments, okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Take care.